I am so glad you are here. This is Liz from Vegas Books and Herbs in Minneapolis, and I'm going to talk today about this beauty, Linden. Now, I know it looks like there are a lot of leaves in here, but this is actually all flower. The long pale green thing is the petiole from the flower. This is a tree that grows actually in my personal neighborhood where I live, I'm happy to say. And you might know it better in the United States as basswood. Same tree, I promise. But it has been called the lime tree, it has been called the linden tree, it has been called basswood. And lime, by the way, would be spelled Lyme usually, not like the fruit limes, not related at all. But you'll see a lot of towns named after the tree in English, particularly in England at one point in history, because there is this legend about having town meetings underneath linden trees because it was thought that the fragrance of the flowers when they were in bloom would soothe the soul. And so if you were angry at your neighbor for stealing your cow, you'd have a civil conversation about it. And it's always been associated with getting along with people, with love. I don't care if we're talking about Slavic traditions, Norse traditions, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. You'll find it associated with Freya, with Aphrodite, all kinds of deities associated with true love. And it is absolutely one for calming people down. There's a wonderful French herbalist who wrote about this herb as the ideal bath herb for small children if a bath is part of their nighttime routine to help them calm down and get ready to go to sleep. Isn't that beautiful? It's a very mild herb. If you've ever tasted it, it's sweet, but just barely. There's just not much there in terms of flavor, but it's beautiful in terms of its actions and its magical properties. So I've always thought of it as being very watery because it's so calming, it helps you soothe emotions, but it's a tree. So I also think of it as translating all that power and energy of the sun into that water element so that we can find our true hearts, find our happiness. I think it's a great tree for those reasons. And it's a wonderful tree to meditate under, especially when it's in bloom. Now, there are some cautions about the flowers when they've gone past their prime. You don't really want to harvest them once you start seeing a little bit of brown in those tiny little flowers that the flower actually is. The structure of like the part that's going to make the seed is actually quite tiny. That you want to capture when it's just coming into bloom or just at the peak of its bloom if you're going to go out and gather it yourself. But I would recommend it because it's one, it's easy. And two, you're not competing with anything or anyone really. You're not going to unless you're going to climb a tree to strip the whole thing. You're not going to harvest more than what's easily reached. So there's plenty for all of us to share at this point. So I totally recommend this one for just calming any relationship. Just that's where its magic is best applied. Use linden to create a sense of peace, even in times of conflict with others. It can help bridge the gap between two disparate parties and make them find a way to work together. And then isn't that a great thought in today's world? So grab some, put some around a candle. It's a beautiful plant. The light green, very long petiole is just gorgeous. So just spread it around a candle, or if you have oiled a candle for magical intent, you might be able to convince some of it to stick to the candle for a while, and that's also delightful. It's another one too to embed into a candle if it's thick enough and the wick is small enough that you're not likely to set the linden on fire from the candle flame. Just be cautious about that and your candle magic. It's a beautiful plant though for relationships, for anytime you want to smooth over a process. So I would add this as a secondary herb for any contract or legal matters. I would add it to things where you're maybe looking for a promotion, but you're not the only one vying for it. This can smooth the pathway there, and that's its job in life. So use it in good health, use it in good magic. This is Liz. And the staff and I here at Megas Books and Herbs in Minneapolis all thank you for tuning in, for commenting, liking, subscribing, all those wonderful things. If you have a story about your use of linden, I would love to hear about it. Just leave it in the comments below. And hopefully we'll see you soon here at the shop or at megasbooks.com. Blessed be.